Okay, this is still lesson 89, but this is part 2. So make sure you watch part 1 before you continue this video, okay? Um, this is a little more complicated, okay? Takes a little bit more, but I want you to get the concepts in part 1 first before you watch part 2, which is this video. Okay, here we have a problem that says between which two whole numbers is the square root of 20. Now look at this. It's not asking us to find the square root yet, okay? It's giving us a step to be able to get there eventually, okay? So what I'm going to do to find out which two whole numbers the square root of 20 is between, okay, is start listing our whole squares, okay, our perfect squares. So we'll start with 1, because the square root of 1 would be 1. 1 times 1 is 1. The next one would be a 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Can you think of what the next one would be after 4? Just kind of keep going up. 5? No. 6? No. And if you found 9, that's correct, because 3 times 3 is 9. See, we're listing in order numbers that have perfect squares, okay? What would come after 9? Can you keep going up until you find it? What would be the next one where you would multiply a number by itself to get a perfect square? Okay, and we're going in order, going in number order. If you found 16, that would be correct, because 4 times 4 is 16, okay? The next one would be 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. Now, you see what we're doing? The square root of this would be 1, the square root of this 2, the square root of this one would be 3, the square root of this would be 4, the square root of this would be 5. So find the next number. So it would be, if you multiply 6 times 6, you'd get 36, right? Next one, if you multiply 7 times 7, you get 49. Okay, and we could keep going, but we don't need to go any farther, okay? So that's what you would do first. Now, the square root of 20 is somewhere between here. So which two of these numbers is 20 between? Well, it's between the square root of 16, isn't it? And then would be our 20 and the square root of 25. You see that? See, 20 right here is between your 16 and your 25. Okay? Now, let's review. The square root of 16 would be 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. The square root of 25 would be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. So what this tells us is the square root of 20 is going to come somewhere between 4 and 5. So it's not going to be a whole number, is it? Because it's coming somewhere between 4 and 5. So let's try 4.5, just to see how it works out. So we're going to take 4.5 times 4.5. That would be 4.5, right? Okay. All right, 5 times 5, 25. Carry the 2. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Okay, our placeholder, 4 times 5 is 20. 0, carry the 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. So 5, 2. Now, 1 decimal place here, 1 here. So we go 1, 2, so 20.25. So 4.5 times 4.5 equals 20.25. Now, didn't come out a perfect square, did it? Okay, so it was a little too much, wasn't it? So let's go down to 4.4. See, we're just kind of guessing here. Okay, so let's try 4.4 and multiply. Okay, 1 decimal here, 1 here, for a total of 2. So now, look at 4.4 times 4.4 equals 19.36. So that's not quite enough, is it? Okay, so, and we could keep trying, but the thing is we've tried 4.4 and 4.5. It would actually be somewhere in between there. So we're not going to come out with a perfect square on this one. So what we want to do is choose the answer that would be closest to 20 itself. So if you look at 20.25 and 19.36, the one that would be closest to the 20 would be the 20.25. So here's how we would put that. The square root of 20 is closest to 20.25. Okay, that means approximate. In another lesson way earlier in the year, we learned that wavy equal sign means approximately equal to. Okay, the answer, or you could write it, it's approximately equal to 4.5 would be your approximate square root. Okay, so that would be your approximate square root. So you want to write that. Okay, all right, that's part 2. Do your lesson practice and send me your answers. There is a part of your lesson practice that tells you to use a calculator. Please don't do that because we don't use the calculators in 6th grade. So just do your best on those with kind of how we did it here. Okay? I think it'll be a little simpler for you. Okay, have a great day.